I stood frozen under the OR lights, scalpel dripping with his warm blood. When the man I loved began to change, his spine cracked like breaking bone. Black fur tore through his scrubs. His eyes flashed from gray to burning gold, locking onto mine with raw, starving hunger. In that moment, I knew. I had just saved the monster who would destroy me. My name is Dr. Sophia Kane, 29 years old, and one of the youngest trauma surgeons at St. Meridian Hospital. I lived for the night shift. The chaos. The moment when a life hung by a thread, and only my hands could pull it back. That same drive is what led me straight into Marcus Hale. He was the attending surgeon, 34, calm under pressure, with steady hands and storm-gray eyes that saw too much. We kept everything hidden. No one in the hospital knew. It started with quick glances across the nurses' station, then stolen moments in the on-call room when the floor finally went quiet. His mouth on mine, rough and urgent. My back pressed against the cold wall while his hands slid under my scrubs. The way he whispered my name against my neck made my pulse race harder than any code blue. I told myself it was only physical. Just two surgeons burning off stress after long hours. But every time he touched me, something deeper pulled inside my chest. A strange, warm tug I couldn't explain. When he was near, my body answered before my mind could catch up. His scent stayed on my skin for hours. Dark cedar mixed with something wild that made me want him, even when I was exhausted. I knew it was dangerous. I knew getting caught could cost both of us our jobs. Yet every night I still looked for him. Every quiet hour I still let him pull me close. That night, the full moon hung low and bright outside the hospital windows. I felt it in my bones even before we got the call. A John Doe rushed in. Massive blood loss, deep wounds that looked like they came from claws. The ER was loud and moving fast. Marcus caught my eye from across the trauma bay. One small nod. We both scrubbed in together, hot water running over our hands. His fingers brushed mine under the sink a second longer than needed. "Stay sharp tonight, Sophia," he said quietly, voice low. "After this case, my office, door locked." Heat rushed through me. I nodded once. We stepped into the OR, masks up, ready to cut. The patient lay open on the table, monitors steady for now. Everything felt normal, but the moon kept watching through the blinds. And that strange pull in my chest grew stronger with every passing minute. The operation started like any other. The OR felt alive with controlled chaos. Monitors beeped in steady rhythm. Nurses moved quickly, handing instruments without a word. Bright lights glared down on the open chest of our John Doe patient. Deep gashes ran across his torso. 4 long, parallel tears that looked too clean to come from any normal animal. I focused on the bleeders, calling out for suction and clamps. Marcus stood across from me, his hands moving with the same precision I had come to crave. For the first few minutes, everything held steady. Then the first odd thing happened. Marcus wiped his brow with the back of his arm. Sweat rolled down his temple even though the OR stayed ice cold. I glanced up. His eyes, usually storm gray, now carried a faint golden ring around the pupils. He blinked hard, as if trying to push something away. "Marcus?" I said under my breath. He gave a short nod. "Keep cutting." I did. But inside my head the question started. Why did his hands look tighter on the retractor? Why did the air suddenly feel heavier around him? That strange pull in my chest grew warmer, almost hot. The same pull I felt when he pinned me against the wall in the on-call room. Another minute passed. Then I heard it. A soft, dry crack, like knuckles popping, only louder and deeper. It came from Marcus's left hand, the one gripping the metal retractor. The tool bent slightly under his fingers. My stomach tightened. Fear rose fast, but so did something else, a rush of heat low in my belly. Even now, with something clearly wrong, part of me still wanted his hands on me. He shifted his weight. Another crack echoed, this time from his shoulder, louder. The nurse closest to him frowned and stepped back half a foot. Marcus's breathing changed. Deeper, rougher, almost like a growl caught in his throat. Sweat soaked the front of his scrub top. His jaw clenched so hard I saw the muscle jump. Those golden flecks in his eyes grew brighter under the lights. He looked straight at me for one long second. In that look, I saw two things at once. The man who had whispered my name while inside me, and something else fighting to break free. I forced my attention back to the patient. More lap pads. Pressure here. My voice stayed level, but my pulse hammered in my ears. The mate bond. That word I had never dared speak out loud. Tugged harder now. It made my own skin feel too tight. Made me aware of every inch of him across the table. Marcus suddenly gripped the edge of the surgical drape. His knuckles turned white. A third crack rang out, sharper this time. One of the residents looked up, confused. "Dr. Hale?" she asked. He didn't answer. Instead, he leaned closer to the table, his shoulders rising and falling with each heavy breath. The scent of him cut through the sterile air. Dark cedar mixed with raw, wild heat. My body reacted before my mind could stop it. A flush crept up my neck, even as cold fear gripped my spine. What was happening to him? And why did a dark, secret part of me not want it to stop? Then it happened. Marcus's spine arched hard. A loud crack split the air like a gunshot. His shoulders jerked upward as bones broke and reshaped under his skin. The sound echoed off the OR walls. Thick black fur burst through the front of his scrubs in ragged lines. Fabric tore with a sharp rip. His chest expanded so fast, the ties on his gown snapped. I froze, scalpel still in my hand. His fingers lengthened with wet pops. Dark claws pushed out, shredding his gloves into pieces. One claw scraped the metal table and left deep gouges. The heart monitor screamed. The patient flatlined. A nurse dropped her tray. Metal instruments crashed to the floor. "Dr. Hale!" someone shouted. Marcus threw his head back. His jaw cracked and stretched. Fangs slid down over his lips. A roar tore out of him. Deep, raw, and so powerful it shook the lights above us. The sound hit me in the chest and traveled straight down my body. Fear flooded my veins. But the mate bond flared hot at the same time. Pain and need twisted together. I felt his hunger. I felt his struggle. And God help me, part of me wanted to step closer instead of running away. His golden eyes locked on mine again. For 1 second, I saw Marcus in there. The man who had held me in the dark. Then the beast pushed forward. He lunged toward the table. Claws slashed the air inches from the dead patient. The residents backed against the wall. One screamed. I could barely breathe. My own skin burned where the bond pulled tightest. Every crack of his bones sent an echo of heat through me. The line between terror and desire blurred until I couldn't tell which feeling was stronger. Another rip of fabric. His arms thickened with muscle and fur. His height shot up, his shoulders broadening until he towered over the surgical table. Sweat and blood mixed on his changing face. The roar came again, louder this time. It vibrated through my ribs and made my legs weak. What would you do if your lover started turning into a monster right in front of you? I stood there, heart pounding, unable to look away. Part of me still wanted his claws on my skin. Part of me knew I should run. But the bond held me in place, burning hotter with every second. Marcus, or what was left of him, turned those glowing eyes back to me. Recognition flickered, then pure animal need took over. He took one heavy step toward me. The floor trembled under his weight. Fur covered most of his body now. His scrubs hung in torn shreds. Our fangs glistened under the bright lights. The entire team panicked. Shouts filled the room. Someone hit the emergency alarm. Red lights flashed, and still I couldn't move. Because even like this, monstrous, terrifying, powerful, he was still mine. And the worst part was, I didn't want to let him go. The team was screaming. Alarms blared. Red lights flashed across the walls. I forced my voice out, loud and steady. Everyone out! Code Silver! Possible contaminant! Clear the OR now! It was a lie. But they believed me. Footsteps rushed toward the doors. The last resident slammed them shut behind her. Only Marcus and I remained. His massive frame shook violently. Fur rippled as the shift fought to finish. I grabbed the defibrillator paddles, cranked them to maximum, and slammed them against his chest. The shock hit hard. His body jerked backward. A pained roar tore from his throat. For a moment, the fur receded in patches. His shoulders slumped, but it wasn't enough. I dropped the paddles and reached for the silver suture kit, but my hands shook as I pulled out a long strand of silver thread. I pressed it directly against the worst wound on his shoulder. Marcus howled in agony. The silver burned his flesh like acid. Smoke rose where it touched. His claws dug into the surgical table, carving deep grooves. Yet even through the pain, he reached for me. His clawed hand closed gently around my wrist. The touch sent fire through my veins. Terror and desire crashed together. I stepped closer. His hot breath brushed my neck. Blood from his torn lips smeared across my cheek. I kissed him. It was desperate, rough. His fangs grazed my lower lip. The metallic taste of blood mixed with the wild heat of his mouth. For a few seconds, the world narrowed to just us. His claws carefully not breaking my skin, and my hands buried in the thick fur at the back of his neck. My body betrayed me completely. Heat pulled low, even as guilt tore at my chest. I had just killed the patient on the table. I had lied to the entire team. I had thrown my career away for the monster standing in front of me. And I still wanted more. Marcus pulled back just enough to speak, his voice a broken growl. Sophia, you shouldn't have saved me. His golden eyes burned into mine, pain and love mixed in them. I couldn't let them take you, I whispered. My fingers traced the edge of his jaw where fur met skin. Even if it costs me everything. He leaned his forehead against mine. Another wave of shifting pain hit him. His muscles tensed under my hands. I pressed the silver thread harder. He gasped, claws tightening on my waist. The mix of his pain and my own rising need made my head spin. Then his voice dropped lower, urgent. This wasn't random. The patient. He was sent here. The pack knows about you now. Those words hit me harder than any roar. Guilt flooded in. I had chosen him over a life, over my reputation, over years of training. And now the consequences were already closing in. Still, I didn't pull away. His claws traced lightly down my back. A shiver ran through me. Part fear, part raw want. The bond pulsed between us, tying my heartbeat to his. In that bloody, terrifying moment, love and horror became the same thing. The doors burst open. Security guards rushed in, batons drawn, faces pale with shock. They saw the wreckage. The gouged table, the dead patient, the blood, and Marcus still half covered in black fur. Hands where we can see them, one shouted. Marcus looked at me one last time. His golden eyes held regret, pain, and something that felt too much like goodbye. Then the guards tackled him. They dragged his massive frame out in heavy restraints. While he barely resisted, I stood frozen in the middle of the ruined OR, scalpel still clutched in my hand, blood drying on my scrubs. Within the hour, the chief of surgery called me into his office. His face was stone. "Dr. Kane, you're suspended immediately. Pending full investigation. The board will decide if you ever step foot in this hospital again." No questions, no chance to explain. Just cold dismissal. I drove home in silence. The city lights blurred past the windshield. Every street felt longer than usual. When I finally stepped into my dark apartment, the weight of what I had done crashed down. I had let a patient die. I had lied to the entire team. I had thrown away everything I had worked for. Years of training, sleepless nights, every sacrifice. All to save the man who had just turned into a monster in front of me. Regret sat heavy in my stomach. Fear followed close behind. I pulled off my blood-stained scrubs and stood in front of the bathroom mirror. That was when I saw it. A fresh bite mark on my left shoulder. Deep enough to break skin, but already healing faster than it should. The edges burned with a strange heat. I touched it lightly and a jolt of need shot through my body. Sharp, unwanted, and impossible to ignore. The bond. It was growing stronger. Even miles away, I could feel Marcus. His guilt, his hunger, his pull on me. It tugged low in my chest like an invisible chain. My skin felt too tight. My pulse beat in time with something wild and distant. And then the real fear settled in. The patient with the claw wounds hadn't been random. He had been sent to expose Marcus. The pack knew about us now. They knew I had seen the shift. They knew I had helped him escape. I stared at my reflection. The bite mark pulsed once, hot and alive. The full moon was only 3 days away. I could already feel something inside me starting to answer its call. I stood there staring at the bite mark in the mirror. The skin around it was already changing. The edges glowed faintly under my fingers. Heat spread through my veins like liquid fire. My heartbeat quickened. My nails felt sharper. A low growl rose in my throat before I could stop it. The bond wasn't just pulling anymore. It was changing me. 3 days until the full moon, and I could already feel my body starting to betray me. The pack is coming. They know what I did. They know I saved him. Marcus will return. I can feel him getting closer through this mark. But when he does, will he come as the man I loved, or as the beast that finishes what he started? My hands trembled as I gripped the sink. What would you do if the man you loved turned into a werewolf mid-surgery, and you were the one who helped him escape? Would you save him again, or would you run? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Type, "Save him," if you would protect your lover no matter the cost, or run if you would turn away. Tell me exactly why. If you want episode 2, where the pack starts hunting me, my own body begins to shift, and Marcus comes back for me, smash that like button if you'd save your werewolf lover. Comment "Bite me" if you're ready for the full moon to rise and the next chapter to drop. Subscribe and turn on notifications. The full moon is coming. And so is he.